And Faith Time is our weekly conversation on matters of faith. And joining us this morning is Logan Click with Loxley Church. Thank you for joining us this morning, ma'am.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
All right, so you run the children's ministry at Loxley Church. Talk to us about what children's ministry entails.
So, children's ministry is a big umbrella because we go with babies all the way to 6th grade. So we have to handle babies, toddlers, preschoolers, and then kindergarten through 6th. But it's just our job to engage families and children with activities that can help the kids know about the Bible and Jesus.
All right, so how is this different from a youth pastor that I hear a lot of churches also have?
Yeah, so a children's pastor typically oversees babies to 6th grade, and then youth pastors typically oversee 7th grade to 12th grade and sometimes college.
So what is the importance of a children's ministry?
So for me, I always tell our volunteers that we're not babysitting, we're discipling. And so if statistics are true, then half of the people that believe in Jesus will do so before the age of 12. So it's my job to make sure that I am able to reach as many children as possible with the love of Jesus so that they can believe before the age of 12.
So what outreach do you do just beyond the church in this sort of ministry?
So at Loxley Church, we have this opportunity to go into some local elementary schools once a week, and we speak to a group of kids with their parents' permission, a little devotion and prayer right before they go to school.
Talk to me about what drew you to this line of work.
So I've always been involved in children's ministry ever since I was able to. So as soon as I got out of children's department, I went straight into serving in children's ministry. And then as I grew up and got older, I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do, but I knew I loved Jesus and I knew I loved kids. And so children's ministry is just the perfect mix because I get to do that every single day.
So talk to me about some of the techniques for children's ministry. How do you reach children at very young ages with what are sometimes difficult, heady, philosophical concepts?
Yeah, so I like to do a lot of interactive lessons as far as I get them involved in the story. I make them dress up as characters and act things out, and then I'll even do some just interactive questions and stuff like that to make sure that they're understanding what I'm talking about so they can repeat back to me and all that. So.
Now, I haven't paid attention to children's ministry until I then had kids myself and was going to Sunday school classes. And one of the things that I noticed is that sometimes when you're dealing with stories from the Bible that are harsh or dark, I think of the story of Abraham taking Isaac up to the mountain. That's a super dark one. And when my kids did that in Sunday school, they sort of changed it a little bit. How do you tone down some of these stories while also keeping the integrity of the message intact?
Yeah, so I try to, for me, each month we go through, we have a word. And like this month, our word is cooperation. And so I could take that message, that lesson, and talk about how Abraham was cooperating with Jesus pretty much, but he was listening and he was following him. And so we take the message like that. We don't necessarily go into the dark, terrible, but turn it into this is why he did that. He was cooperating and he was listening to God, that kind of thing.
All right, it's reaching small kids from up to 6th grade. Logan Click with the children's ministry at Loxley Church. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Faith Time. And News 5 this morning will continue after the break.